You know, I'm not going to say it, but I really want to say it. You're not having any other Leafs babies, Steve. James Reimer's a married man. Look at it, finally! Go Canadian flag.
Country!
Deal with it.
Deal and smash!
Owen Grubowski.
GTFO. I got it from afar. Leafs win, albeit inexplicably 2-0 against the New Jersey Devils. And it only feels appropriate to change a tire for this particular video. I'll talk about the Leafs-Devils game for a little bit, and then I want to talk a little bit about this. Not so much about the incident, I'll leave that to others, but the city of Boston. So, remember all those times I've been saying James Reimer's the reason the Leafs are winning games? In the words of Rick Jenneret, now do you believe? That's 3 Northeast Division teams I managed to work into one video already. James Reimer saves, take your pick. It's harder to talk about particular saves than particular goals, so tell you what, highlights in the underbar. Check them out. They're pretty nuts. The Leafs had 5 shots through 2 periods, and in the 3rd period, fans cheered the 6th shot, which at the time was about 16% of their shots for the whole game. But despite all of that, James Reimer just put the team on his back door. And the Devils are just like, keep going, guys, if we keep shooting, we'll eventually score. To which James Reimer responded, negative. Phil Kessel, roll out. Leafs finally get a power play opportunity. Phil Kessel with a wrist shot. 1-0. And there's a couple factors there. One, Phil Kessel has, on a bad day, one of the top 5 shots in the NHL. Top 5 wrist shots. And despite that, Brodeur may have stopped that shot if he had seen any shots all game. And it might sound ridiculous to suggest Brodeur was thrown off by something like that, but maybe he was. Optimus Prime just kept the all-star going for the rest of the game. Jay McClement goes down the wing, scores the empty netter. And James Reimer gets an assist on that empty netter. He did everything. The Leafs win 2-0. I would love to know how many goalies have gotten a shutout and a point in the same game. And Leaf goalies. Who was the last guy to do that? It might have happened relatively recently, but I'm not remembering. Question of the game, with Reimer just rolling so hot lately. The Leafs so hot lately. How many starts do you give Scrivens before the playoffs? Because Reimer is the clear starter right now, and typically you want to give your starter a bit of a rest before the postseason. However, keep in mind that it's only a 48-game shortened lockout schedule, and Reimer was also hurt, so this is still a short season for him. Does he even need the rest? I don't care how short the season is. If he keeps making 30-plus save shutouts, then yeah, he's going to need a snooze or two. Now, Boston. Obviously, we all know what happened on Monday. I don't need to tell you it's terrible. I don't need to tell you it's reprehensible. I don't need to tell you it's tragic. But in such an hour of darkness, the best parts of Boston, the best parts of humanity shone through. And I want to tell a Boston story that I may have said in a video before. I don't think so. I think I keep forgetting to tell it. So I was an intern at the Fan 590 a few years ago. It's now Sportsnet Radio in Toronto. And I was covering a Blue Jays game. They let the intern sometimes be the visiting room mic, so you get to interview the visiting team's players. And I was lucky enough to do a Red Sox game. And I was up in the press box with whoever the home guy was that night for the Fan, Alex Xero, David Alter, Zach Cooper, maybe Eric Prime, trying to list off as many names as possible so they don't get offended. But this other guy sits down beside me, and I don't know who he is, but I'm like, oh, whatever. And I look down on the table, and he has the single biggest ring I've ever seen. Just enormous. And of course, this guy catches me staring at it. I'm just like, And with this deep voice, he goes, want to try it on? And I go, yeah, yes, sir. That man, I'm sure Bostonians are familiar with and many baseball fans are familiar with, was Carl Bean. And he let me try on a Boston Red Sox World Series ring. Just this honking monster. And he was explaining all the different little diamonds and jewels on it and the gold. And he didn't get it for playing, obviously. He got it for being the announcer at Fenway, if I'm correct. And he's telling me these funny stories like, yeah, a couple years ago I fell down the stairs and all my family called to ask if the ring was okay. And he's looking at the ring like, yeah, I've been with the team for both World Series. See that guy down there? Yeah, he's only got one. And I'm just some 19, 20-year-old intern there for free. Like, this was a huge thrill for me. And this was kind of my first run-in with how awesome Boston can be. And I went to Boston for a Leafs-Bruins game just before the Bruins won the Cup in March 2011. And Boston's got this kind of hard, tough exterior that they show everyone, but most of the people I met there were so friendly. Based on my little experience there, Boston can be like that friend who There's no buffer zone between them being a stranger and a friend. They just go right into it. And they just start razzing you right off the bat. And for some people, they can be like, what's this guy's problem? But you know better. Have a good time. Let your guard down. They're your friend. And people would make fun of my friends and I for being Leafs fans and make fun of us and call us stuff. And then they'd buy us a beer. And they are some of the loudest, craziest fans I've ever come across in my entire life. And I love Canada. I love Ontario, Toronto, Scarborough. I love where I live. And there's no other place I'd rather be. But I always tell people if I had to live somewhere in the States, Boston. And if I had to settle for the outskirts, I guess Peabody. Oh, also, they generally give you props when you pronounce it Peabody. And I really don't know how to end this video other than to say, Boston, I love you, we love you, and we'll figure this out together.